Have you ever actually thought of the possibility that new anime are better than old anime? At least in some ways. Often nostalgia is an absolute blinding force for what is good, and oftentimes we think it's way better than everything that came after it. But is it actually? I know even throwing this idea out is already putting myself in harm's way to get absolutely flamed by everyone, but having watched anime and made hundreds of anime videos from analysis, reactions, in-depth debates like this one, picking apart every little detail, I finally asked myself the question, is new anime better than old anime? And look guys, it's gonna get scary. I may even go as far to criticize your favorite anime that you used to stay up watching late during school nights, but listen, it's a discussion and we're gonna see where it takes us. So we're gonna be going through 5 different points of elite criteria and seeing how new anime compares to them versus the old guard. By the way, we're putting the cutoff of a new anime being 2014 and beyond. Starting with the most pivotal point of any anime and what separates a good anime from a god tier anime, and that's a good story. But maybe that's not true because JJK barely has a story. But most of the old anime like OG Naruto, Bleach, Dragonball, Death Note, they had extremely tight written stories in comparison to new anime. But what does that actually mean? Well, like I just said, JJK is a complete wrench in what most elite shonen are supposed to be. And yes, season 2 has a story, but it's barely present and it's not the key hook. Like for example, in older anime, the narrative of the Pain Invasion or Eni's Lobby were huge and what really hooked us in and got us to care a lot about One Piece and Naruto. But JJK isn't the only new anime to exist that doesn't have a tight written story, because I would say even My Hero and Black Clover aren't as story centric as much past anime, and a lot of My Hero arcs are the same rinse and repeat structure for the most part with swapped out characters, although the overhaul arc was pretty sick, but from a story perspective there really isn't that much going on there. That being said, the likes of Hell's Paradise, Chainsaw Man, and JJK have brought in a new and darker tone to anime that was never really present before, and this more mature style is definitely a welcome change because things get dark. Now in terms of shonen, I do think overall old shonen is better because the story is much more of a focus than it is in newer shonen, because newer shonen seem to be focusing more on standing out stylistically, but there's other genres that exist besides shonen like the mystery seinen genre. So let's see about Death Note and Code Geass versus Classroom of the Elite. And Jesus Christ, this is literally the 3-headed dragon meme. Okay, like I love Classroom of the Elite, but some of the narrative moments do not hit like they were meant to. Start to take moments seriously when the landscape is this classroom of all these characters that are super out there, but that is what makes it unique. And it doesn't touch the feet of Code Geass or Death Note, but that's not completely indicative of all the new anime because mystery in general is definitely lacking in the modern era in my opinion. But the final genre we'll throw in is romance slice of life, so Fruits Baskets compared to Horimiya, Rent a Girlfriend, Your Lie in April, and so on. And honestly, I like the stories in newer romance anime better than old. Now to be fair, I haven't seen too many old romance animes, but a lot of them are a lot darker and out there with characters that don't feel as real as the ones in newer anime. The slice of life mesh where romance is done in a better and more fun way that makes the overall story more enjoyable to watch while having the stylistic change that isn't really there in older romance anime. And of course there's thousands more genres we could throw in tick for tack, but honestly I think older anime definitely have the better stories in my opinion because of the fact that the arcs blend a lot better with each other, but new anime have a much more heavy emphasis on style, which plays into the next point, and the next point being the battleground that every person can compete in, no matter if you're a writer, YouTuber, or any form of artist, and it's creativity. How different, how unique, and how impactful can you make your anime that leaves everyone like, what did I just watch? This can be animation, art style, fights, worlds, anything you can possibly conceive. They are what make or break your story being remembered, and sometimes even for bad reasons. Talking about the vending machine anime, by the way. But there's an argument that many new anime copy from old anime in a lot of ways, especially in the shonen world, and sure, I don't need to talk about JJK, Black Clover, and My Hero take from the big 3, but there's more to it than that, and more new anime exists besides just shonen anime. For example, bottom tier character Tomozaki is a rom-com anime where it has all your normal romance aspects to it with a loser main character, except every single character is obsessed with this game called Tac Fam, which is literally just Super Smash Bros. But still, when the anime is doing explanations or funny moments, instead of doing the typical chibi style, they cut away to an old video game animation style like Mario or Pokemon, and it's actually really unique, and within the premise of the world, it works really well. Now, Hunter x Hunter or One Piece is the peak of old anime in terms of creativity, at least from what I've seen, and Hunter x Hunter is basically every single anime crammed into one, and One Piece has one of the most expansive worlds we've ever seen, and the likes of Monster and Evangelion really put something out there that you've never seen before, and the peak of this being Akira, which is just a complete mindfuck. This is hard because I would say the first half of new anime from the period of 2014 to 2019, it would easily be old anime winning in terms of creativity, but I feel in the past 5 years, the creativity in new anime has really blown me away. And of course, over time, I'm gonna get tired of seeing the same tropes that I've seen so many times before, and it's hard to contextualize old anime because I've watched so many anime since. But I think this renaissance of creativity in terms of dark anime, new animation styles, and unique concepts has me thinking that new anime are more creative. See guys, I did that whole spiel without mentioning the invention of isekai, just saying. And if you've been enjoying this video so far, why don't you leave a like, subscribe, and let's get back to it and see, does new anime beat old anime? But the next genre is rock solid, and I'm gonna spend less than 30 seconds on it because it is so definitive, and its characters: Luffy, Naruto, Gon, Light, Killua, Lelouch, Zoro, L, Ichigo, Pain, Itachi, Jiraiya, Nico Robin, Toru, Kuriko, Doflamingo, Hisoka, Edward, Mustang, Carice, Rintaro, Kurapika, Eren, Levi, Sanji, Sasuke, Spike. Look, Frieren, you are a good character, but come on. And the next one is the big one, the fun one, the crazy one. Are new anime fights better than old anime? And look, this is highly debatable, and animation is a massive part of this for a lot of people. And the more anime you watch, the story implications, the character implications, and all that analysis shit is a way bigger part in whether you enjoy fights or not. New anime fights do compete a lot with old anime on the story level. Even if the overall stories pale in comparison, the narrative of the fights definitely do compete. Take Naruto for example, and think of every moment from Naruto fighting Pain. He was thought to be the leader of the Akatsuki, hunting down the Nine Tails. He's taking out all the Jinchuriki, he's killed Jiraiya, he's killed Kakashi, blown up his village. Naruto has essentially been training for this fight his whole life, and then that moment finally happens where he gets his triumphant victory, he sees his dad, and it's great. Let's take Jujutsu Kaisen now and understand what I mean by fights are the story. Itadori and Nanami fight Mahito in season 1, where he blows up Junpei right in front of Itadori, and then in season 2, after Itadori and Megumi fight the inverse guy, it leads to Itadori fighting Chozo, which leads to Sukuna fighting Jogo, which ends connecting Megumi versus the blonde dude, which leads to Sukuna versus Magaraga, which then leads to Itadori running off, which then connects to Nanami fighting the blonde hair guy, going to then fight Mr. Krabs, which then leads to Nanami getting burnt by Jogo, which leads to Nanami fighting Mahito, which then connects to Itadori fighting Mahito, which then connects to Mahito fighting Nobara, which then connects to Mahito killing Nobara, which then connects to Itadori fighting Mahito, which then connects to Todo and Itadori fighting Mahito, which is connected by Mekamaru fighting Mahito, which is then connected to Geto swallowing Mahito and effectively ending the season. You see what I mean? If you take out the fights there, what just happened? How do you get any of that to occur? None of those events happen, and a lot of the Dark Trio are largely the same as that, not as extreme, but they definitely are a lot more stylistic and fight centric than old anime. And an example of a new anime that's not the Dark Trio, My Hero was largely just fights this season. Reading Black Clover, trust me, there is a lot of fights. Take away demon slaying from Demon Slayer and you have nothing. And from the animation perspective, the likes of Mushoku Tensei, JJK are definitely impressive. I think when you take into account how old some of the older anime are, I would say One Piece and Naruto alone are enough to give old anime the animation department, in my eyes. Because Naruto and Sasuke is still the best looking fight in anime, to me at least, and honestly by far. But this is easily the most subjective of all the parts, just due to how everyone views fights differently. For me, I would lead towards old anime overall because you have a connection with the characters fighting a lot more than you do in new anime, but I can totally see where you're coming from if you prefer the new animation style. So get ready to boo, get ready to scream. It's a draw in my eyes. But the final point, and one of the coolest parts of watching anime, and it's the world. Frieren in this fantasy world post-quest, it's sick. Seeing her wander this world, it's just awesome. Hunter x Hunter though has 1,000 worlds in one, each more unique than the area coming before, and even having realistic cities to modern day life. Mushoku Tensei, another travelers group going through different terrains with different languages and zones. One Piece going through a vast system of islands with hundreds of different possibilities of inspiration. Blue Lock trapping everyone down in this crazy facility to play soccer. Naruto, this vast ninja world with power systems and creatures and even aliens. Hell's Paradise, this remote island with beasts, gods, and also a super strong ninja and samurai. It's easy to say in this department that it's ultra competitive, and almost every anime has elaborate systems and the presentation down pat. But ultimately, I feel the old worlds are better because of how much these systems have expanded on and the depth within them. Bleach has so many moving parts in them, and every part of the Soul Society is elaborated on and expanded upon, whereas in something like Solo Leveling, you have pretty basic structure and it's definitely cool, but not the same depth. And I don't think I need to go on this long comparison because I think virtually every example would be old anime leaning, but the question of is old anime better than new anime, I think I would still say yes. But this doomsday of anime that you see so many creators talk about, I think it's a myth, and new anime is coming out with new ideas, especially in the last 5 years. It's safe to say that anime is in a really good place. But what's a more competitive debate than this? Check out Naruto vs Jujutsu Kaisen one-on-one, no no help, no assistance, and see which anime is better. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget, we're just getting started, we're gonna stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.